can you sort of wrap up how you think Shador did and what you thought of his performance?
Yeah, I think hard to win on the road, hard to win as a rookie. Did a nice job in some of the things we asked him to do. Our focus is really, like it's been all year, on the process of how to improve and how to continue to get better. And for these young players that are playing for us offensively, finding all those teachable moments to continue to improve on. There's a lot of plays he would like to have back. There's a lot of great learning opportunities out there. And then there's a lot of plays that he made that, helped our offense and helped us score enough points to win the game. But, again, we're really doubling down on how can we be process-oriented, not get too caught up in a result of a win or a loss, and just focus on every time you come in on a Monday, there's going to be a bunch of plays that you want to correct. They're just usually easier to correct when you win than when you lose. So our focus is there on continuing to improve. I think Shador's done a really nice job this week of continuing to prep and really starting to hone in on the things we're asking of him, and excited for another opportunity.
Seemed to really play from within the pocket a lot more than even those 2 quarters against Baltimore. What was sort of the process in getting him more comfortable to stay within the pocket, not drift back?
Yeah, I don't think there's like a magic solution here, right? I think you just got to continue to show evidence of, hey, this is a clean pocket. This is what it looks like. These are the times where we need to stay in here and read things out. And with him, there's the balance of, hey, he can do some things creatively outside of the pocket. Like, when is it time to go and when is it time to stay in there? There was a third down there during the game last week where it felt like we could have stayed in there instead of flushing out to our left. And he's the first one to recognize those things. And then, the play extension to Jerry on the big in cut, we have a little pressure off our right side that made him move right. And then that's a great example of, hey, this is a good time to get out of there and, find something down the field. He does a really nice job of keeping his eyes downfield as he evades. So I would love to say, hey, there's one thing that we do that gets him to stay in the pocket. I think it's just the teachable moments that come up throughout the course of a game to show him what a clean pocket looks like. Or if we got a route concept versus a coverage we really like, you might be a little bit more willing to hang in there and let it develop. And a lot of that comes with time and reps and time on task.
Kevin talked about the 52-yard throw to Isaiah, that being such a high-level play, and them being in cover 0 and the free runner. But
yep.
That play specifically, like, how much do you think that opened things up throughout the course of the game and opened up maybe some of the shorter passing lanes?
Yeah. I don't know if it necessarily opens things up in terms of how you're describing it. I think we were going to be hot on that play. We could have protected a little bit differently to be less hot. He makes an unbelievable individual effort, a great throw off his back foot, gets hit. It's right where you want it. They're playing cover 0, which is an aggressive call. It might have dissuaded them from playing cover 0 throughout the game, which, again, helps our protection moving forward. And then I think for him, it's kind of like your first start, you're on the road, like, make that first play, and then it kind of settles you into the game. So when you talk, like, I look at it through the lens of, what does it open up? It probably opens up a little bit of a confidence and a relief from, okay, make that big play, and now let's focus on moving forward and going to continue to play. And I think as a young player, when you have that first moment where it's like, all right, I made the play, now let's just settle into the game. But no, it was a great individual effort, and I think that helped him throughout the course of just staying confident and calm as the game went on.
Is he more willing to take the deep shot, or have these always obviously probably been in the game plan, but maybe Shador has so much confidence in his accuracy to go ahead and take them?
Yeah, I think guys have different not to compare it to anybody else or anybody else that's played quarterback for us, whether it's Joe or Dylan or anybody else. Like, I just think throughout the course of a game, sometimes you call the shot versus the coverage you want and you get it to go, right? And sometimes you don't, and you got to check the ball down and make the right decision. That's part of the process for our guys, is instilling in them is, hey, these are the premier looks that we're calling these verses, and this is what we want them against. And when we have those looks, let's take a rip. If not, then make the right decision and we'll call it again. In the first game he played, I think somebody asked me about it last week. We hit Harold on the big in cut, that 2-minute drive. We had called it earlier in the game. And the deal with those guys is like, hey, when we get the look we want, let's make it work. When we don't, make the right decision and live for another down. And I think we checked it down to Dave and got like 9 yards and good decision. And, hey, we'll get back to it. And if we get the good look, let's go take the shot. And we did later in that game. So when you call those shot plays, you try to program the quarterback to understand, like, hey, if we don't get it, solve the problem, make it right. It's a run down or it's an advantage down for the offense. We'll call it again, and we'll try to get another shot at the right coverage and let it rip.
We've talked a lot about the rookies, and you got a huge performance from a bunch of them on Sunday. Just what's it been like this season, having so many of them, having to rely on so many? I'm sure there's goods and bads from that.
Yeah, let's just look at it from the positive. I would say, like, seeing their development throughout the year is pretty rewarding as a coach. Like, when you have young guys that you think about the first time they step foot in the building for rookie mini camp to, you know, having Samp lead the team on a breakdown after practice or in the meeting room, and like just seeing their roles increase, seeing their development take place, you know, see like tangible evidence of where they've improved on the field, both mentally and physically. Like, that part is exciting. That part is a lot of fun to work with. I really haven't looked at it as a negative throughout the year. We knew we were going to have a young offense of core players. It's exciting to be able to work with those guys. A lot of them have contributed. You think about Gage, who was in here, you know, as an true undrafted rookie, you know, earning his way, like making all the plays to earn his opportunity to be on the team, and then him making a huge play on special teams to set us up. And then he's in there at the end of the game in 4-minute offense, blocking Chin, who's a safety, who's got a lot of weight on him, and he's doing a great job. So that group of guys are a lot of fun to work with. You know, they really are. They got a good connection. They have good energy about them. You know, football is very important to all those players, and to kind of see that group collectively take a step forward and help us win a game was really rewarding as a coach.
Did Dylan have that kind of speed in him? It just seemed like once he.
I don't know what he ran. He was in the 4.4s though, I'm pretty sure, coming out. And I know, like, I don't know why we all give him the. I do it too, because I mess with Samp a little bit and just, you know, like, hey, if the first guy brings you down, you're going to have to give me that. Like, we joke around that way. And so he was the first person to let me know after that one. But I think he ran in the 4.4s. I think we looked it up a couple weeks ago, and he's got a little more juice than you'd think. But it was a great stretch and cut. And then Sed, Harold, Dave, Poe getting involved, like all of those guys in how they blocked it. And it was really a well-executed play, and we needed it at that time.
And Samson, we've seen what Quinshon's able to do, and Dylan breaking free. We talked to them both about maybe being a 1-2 punch earlier in the summer. How do you think that can maybe help open up the run game to have two highly productive backs operating at the same time in the run game and the offense?
Yeah, obviously, like, when you spell your top back, when you feel like you don't miss a beat or you feel like you have a guy you can rely on, that's beneficial for the offense. You know, they do have, you know, a little bit different skill sets, and managing those and maximizing their skill sets is important to us. You know, I do feel like both of them have enough versatility to their game, and we've said it for a while, like, there's not a call on the call sheet where I would be worried if Q or Samp were in. Like, let them both roll. And, you know, we try to make a concerted effort to get Samp more involved as the year's gone on. And obviously he played really well for us last week, and even the week before he had a couple nice runs there in the first couple series. So he's really like, when we talk about the rookie class and guys that are fun to work with and committed to doing things the right way, he's really one of those players you point to. And I'm excited for him to have the success. And everybody's talked about Q all year, and rightfully so. He's played really well for us. And he's definitely a guy that our offense runs through, right? Like, you have guys that you try to get involved. Our offense really is running through Q, and then Samp becomes a great complementary piece to that, and somebody that can have his role in his own right.
What about this solid defense? What are you guys on the lookout for, and just how well are they playing even though they only have 13?
Yeah, no, they're playing. I mean, they played really well a couple nights ago, and, you know, they've had a ton of injuries on defense, and to see them play as well as they have, that's credit to that staff. Obviously, you kind of know what you're going to get with him and the way he structures his defense. They play a lot like our defense schematically, and which is you know, something we're accustomed to seeing. They play hard, they play fast, they rally to the football, they attack you defensively. They have, the thing Saleh does really well is his pressure packages. I know the sack numbers aren't maybe what they want, but the pressure on the quarterback, they're able to create that a lot of different ways. So we'll have our work cut out for us. They're a really well-coached team, and they got, still have good players even through the injuries. So we got to make sure we put our best foot forward.
What was your first introduction to the Wildcat, and why do you like it so much?
Yeah.
Inside the red zone or inside the 10?
Like ever with the Wildcat? When I was working at Notre Dame, we introduced it. Never got a ton of benefit out of it there, just for whatever reason. I think we had it up a few weeks ago, going into the Miami game. Just felt like we could gain an extra gap in the run game, gain an extra hat in certain places. Makes you really defend in the run specific looks all 11 without giving up too much of the schematics of it. Like, there are some real advantages to it. Q has, comfort in doing it and somebody we trust doing it. And you can kind of define the look you're going to get to attack. Obviously, we've had a lot of success here in 2 small sample sizes in games, but we've scored 4 touchdowns and have had some productive runs in the package. Our fullback was unavailable there throughout the game, so that takes you out of a certain personnel grouping. So that's kind of, the Wildcat's another one you can use in those run-heavy situations. And, we don't use it every week, but it's something we work on and have at our arsenal, and have a lot of confidence in that group of guys, making those plays work, and you can kind of define the looks that you're trying to attack.
About Harold, and especially the way he's able to pick up the yards after the catch for you guys. I think it just seemed like it was such a
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. He's done that all year. We try to tell our guys, like, when you think Harold's being tackled, like, he's probably not. So keep playing through the play and keep blocking for him and keep hustling, because that block could be the difference of a 12-yard gain. And if we just stay with it, there's nobody really left. And so he's got tremendous, body control. He's got tremendous contact balance and strength. It's kind of just one of those innate things that he has. Like, I don't have a great reason why he's able to do that, other than he's strong and he's got good balance and he's got a real will to him on fighting through those plays and finding ways to maximize yardage. It's really an impressive trait.